Yes, everyone, welcome. Coming to you from here, Shibuya. Another video here from the Tokyo real estate man. Let me just turn the sound off here because this is important. Here we're on the scramble crossing of Shibuya, and yeah, it's basically my home neighborhood. And you can see there's a company here called Rake. This company here is called Eiffel. These are all financial companies. You'll see here all the advertising here. This is we're gonna go in here, as you see by the title of the video. This is going into the Keio Inagashira line, and it goes from Shibuya to Kichijoji. And this is a really crowded train station right here. And this is actually, on the side note, I just thought of it. I met my wife here about 20 years ago on the ground right underneath here. Anyways, of course, I'm a real estate agent in Tokyo, and I'm happy to make money as a real estate agent, but that's not totally what this channel is about. This channel is about how to get ahead here in Japan. And again, we have a fantastic YouTuber here making a fantastic, what's it called, Tokyo Explorer, a video about Tokyo. But what are we doing in this channel? We're going beyond that. I'm gonna try to teach you people here how to really get ahead in Japan. And you can see as we get into this train right here that this is Japan. And if you really want to get ahead there, you need really base sort of language sort of abilities, and in some ways you're competing against all the other people that are here in this train, and they're Japanese. And this is actually interesting, really interesting train line. This is going to be underground for about a minute, and it's going to come out to a station that's known as Shinsen Station. And I've covered it a lot in terms of real estate videos, but we can, it doesn't really matter. The train trip to get to Kichijoji takes about I think about a half an hour, and it goes some really expensive land here in Tokyo. But we're looking at his camera here, and we look at the reflection of the people. We see all kinds of people here, and they really depend on this train system. This is Shinsen Station right here in very close to Tokyo. I guess we're not stopping here, so he's on one of the super expresses. And actually, to talk about the super express trains is really important, because what they demonstrate, like on these sort of tracks like this, they talk about this really demonstrates the discipline of the Japanese systems it takes to. We're coming out here we're on the way to sort of Shimokitazawa. It's going to be the sort of next sort of big station as we go there, and that's where it crosses with the Odakyu line. But when you're investing in these sort of Japanese here, I'm sort of getting here to the point of the video, I guess. When we have land investments here in Tokyo, but another thing to invest in, you can see like a mansion being built right there, is investing in the systems of Tokyo. And when I try to invest in the systems of Tokyo, I'm interested in the systems that are directly related to the land. And a company like Keio, who runs this train, is a very disciplined company in that they have very disciplined staff. But not only that, the fact that there is an express train on this route shows you that these people are maintaining certain safety barriers. That's Tokyo University, by the way, going by it right now. And because how you run an express train, and it has to pass like the regular local train service. So it's a really disciplined system of using the tracks. And that's why I think that these railway companies, I'm going to start investing. Well, actually, I have already been starting investing in them. And this is an alternative version of how you can invest in Tokyo real estate. And also, it's a little bit of commentary, because when you're going into Japanese stock investing, I don't know, I've always done it through the Japanese you can, there's great translation software out there right now that you don't really have to learn the kanji and stuff like that, but I think it's a really good way. We're going to come up on Shimokitazawa. You can see we're coming into Shimokitazawa right now. This is totally Shimokitazawa station area right now, and I will take that, when we stop here, we'll take that time to I'll move over to the next tab. Anyway, yeah, we're here at this is Shimokitazawa station, you could tell already. And then I'll just stop it right there. It's a good place to stop it right there. And again, it's the cross, the, can wait, because it's crossing here with the Odakyu line. And that's the Odakyu station right there, actually right there. And the Odakyu line go to the south, and the Inogashira line continue to the north all the way to the Chuo line, where it stops at Kichijoji. And in fact, when you want to search for real estate in Japan, often this is all the stops that are on this. I didn't search the Keio line, but this is the Keio line, and the Keio line goes from here. You can see this is Keio Hachioji, and that's Shinjuku right there. And but you can come to, if you were to for example, go back to this sort of screen right here. You can this gives you all the JR lines, and that these are the Tokyo Metro subway lines that you can study as well. This is the Tokyu line, or this says Tokyu Dentetsu, okay, and this here is Seibu, and here we are. That's why it's purple, because we're on that was the Keio line, and these are all the Keio line lines. Okay, for example, we were already on the Keio Inagashira line, so you can press that right there, and then you'll see probably about 10 stations. I think there are not too many, and you can see it's going here from Shibuya here to basically Kichijoji here. Here Inagashira Koen, it says right there, which is sort of near Kichijoji, which intersects with the JR Chuo line. Anyway, one of the alternative ways that you can invest in Japanese real estate is to invest in these kind of train systems. And you can, if you look, and I'm just talk on. I know this might be a little bit different than some of the stuff that we cover here on the channel, but I want to talk. I used to, of course, be very involved in the early 2000s in Japan, and I always wanted to learn how to, like in the mid 1990s, I would get on the train and I wanted to learn how to read the Japanese newspaper. Was really a big goal of mine, and then I studied Japanese for a long time. But at the same time, I was always interested in money things. And this is we're on here something that's known as Yahoo Japan and finance. And I wanted to learn Japanese, and at the same time I was always interested in money stuff, not just real estate but other sectors. And then so I always just sort of studied this, and then I started to trade on the Nikkei. I had an account in the from about 2001 when I started to trade in I was always interested in the money system and the scam with the money system and stuff like that. And then I started to be interested in Japanese stocks, because I just did. It's something that while I was learning Japanese, I wanted to learn also like how I could make more money in Japan. Anyhow, this is so in this video here, we're going to talk about how you can, if you're in Japan, or it doesn't have to be Japan right now, but we're going to look at some Japanese stocks right there, and the stuff that I'm sort of looking at. And this is this you have to trust me. If you I'm just not gonna, if you're not up to speed on this, I'm sorry, but you just have to sort of trust me. But this is the Keio Dentetsu Kabu. And Kabu, this is a really key kanji. You can see it repeating, okay? This says Kabushiki right there, and this is about stocks. And this is I think a Riku Ungyo. Gyo, this is a really important kanji right there. All of these kanjis are important, but Gyo means like commercial. This means commercial. This is Un means like movement, and Riku kind of means land, or like like you would say when the plane lands, it's called Rikujo. Anyhow, this is a sector, and this is the railway sector in Japan, and this is the stock for Keio, the Keio line. Okay, and we can just start here on the first, which is the details of the stock, and you can move it over here. And this will move over to the details of the stock. And the way that you do stocks in Japan, okay, this is the Tosho exchange, okay? To, and this is Sho, like Shoken Kaisha, which means securities. It means securities. And this is the Keio line, the Keio stock, okay, right here. And they'll have a few different stocks, but this is their main railway line. And then you can come into here and you can see there'll be a chart, and then this is the information just for the day. Okay, so the stock opened today at 34.70. The prior close yesterday was at 34. This is all in yen. Okay, and then the high of the day today was like 34.91, and the low of the day, or the lowest or the cheapest point I got today is 34.64, and this is all in yen, or 3,464 yen was the low of the day. And this will give you, this is the stock volume of the day, okay, all the shares that were traded for the day. Anyhow, this is no different than you would see anywhere else. And then you can come on down here. This is really interesting. If you can, this is really difficult Japanese even for me, but this is called the Keijiban. And if you come onto this page, there'll be like a message board, and this is how, which can be a lot of fun, okay? But 95% of the people on this one message board, for example, right now, this is Kaitai. They like this stock, and we'll get into the chart of this stock in a minute. But if you come down here, you can see some of the fundamental stuff that's coming up on this one here. Okay, this is the Haito Rimawari, which is the dividend yield, and this is the Kaisha Yoso. This is what the company announced, that they expect to have a dividend of 3.3% on this one, okay? And the dividend payout is going to be 105 yen per share. So yeah, that's going to be we're pretty near 3% right now, because we saw the shares price today is about 3,400 yen. So it's slightly under that today because the stock has been going up a little bit. This is the PE ratio of this stock. Yesterday when I looked, it was at 9, but it's already at 10. Okay, so anyhow, I'm looking at this stock as an alternative way to invest in Japanese real estate. And other things you can look at though too, right? I happen to like the real estate that's in the center of the city and the west of the city. That's the real estate that the Tokyo real estate man likes. That's the stuff that I like, right? So and I happen to like the stuff that links between, okay, Tokyo and Yokohama. Why? Because I know it. Okay, so one of the other companies that I like, these are other companies right there, okay? This, for example, is the Tokyu. This is the Tokyu company, which is based in Shibuya. And their main lines are the Toyoku line and the Denitoshi line, but they also have lines that stay in Tokyo as well, around basically West Tokyo, where I'm an investor, and I know this company very well. So this is another company that I sort of invest in. Now, here are various sort of Japanese railway companies here, but this one, Tokyu, I like because the land that it sort of manages, or the lines that it manages, is in West Tokyo, and I know the area very well. Another one I like is this one here, which is the Odakyu line, and the Odakyu line goes from Shinjuku and it goes to Chigasaki or Shonan, okay, which is the southern, again, covering sort of the same area. So these are kind of lines that I know very well, that I feel that I trust, okay? And there's fundamental reasons for me to like these, but there's also emotional and systems things that I like about them, and I also like that the land also, that they sort of where they operate and their systems in the land. The Odakyu line might go to Chigasaki or Shonan, okay, but it's basically they dominate a very big area of Setagaya. So I happen to like that area of Setagaya, so I like the Odakyu line. Anyhow, but For our purposes today, okay, we are looking at the Keio line, okay, and I thought like we could move a little bit now. We can move over to the technical chart of the Keio line, which I just clicked in right now, and it's going to move us over. And then we're going to look at this chart. Now, I'm a very, I used to be, when I was a young man, I used to be more aggressive, and I used to like trading, but I don't like trading right now because I don't have time for it, and I'm interested in other things in my life right now. So generally speaking, I like longer term charts. I like just longer term charts, and this is the 10-year chart of the Keio line. Now you could say to me that you could come in here, you can see that it's see, this is the 24-month average. It's still trading underneath its 24-month average right there, but it looks to be like when you come in here, you can see that the you see right there, you see the other ones here, the pink, and they're sort of converging in here. And this chart to me is a chart that I like. And to tell you the truth, I don't see too much downside, much more downside when I look at a chart like this. And it's a chart pattern that I like. I like that it went up and it went down. I don't really, and I like the fact that it has a 3% dividend, and I like the fact of the sort of property that the Keio line sort of operates in. And I also like their pricing on their line is a very cheap one, so I like their pricing and stuff like that. Anyways, we know that the Nikkei has had a really good run. Oh, we can actually move this back a little bit more, and we can see there that basically we're buying basically here near. So this is going back to about 2006. So we're buying almost at a 2006 level, and you had a bit of a run up here, and then 2021, we can see it crashes right there. But we know the Nikkei has gone up because guys like Buffett and stuff have moved here into the Nikkei area for the last 3 or 4 years. However, I don't think Buffett and these guys are very interested in these sort of domestic plays, nor are they familiar with it. Like I, for example, would be. For example, I'm very familiar with this company, and I'm very familiar with their station in Shibuya because that's where I'm from. So another thing that I'll just talk over quickly right here. This is another railway company. This is the Tokyu line, which basically dominates Shibuya, and they have a PE ratio of 12. So their PE ratio is a little bit higher, and this is a Haito. It's a good word for you to know. Haito means dividend. Okay, Haito Rimawari is 1.64%. But I'm very familiar with this company. Okay, and actually look at that. They actually have a place that you can buy this company on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, anyhow, this is the Tokyu company, and again, see, this is the railway sector. It's on the Tosho Exchange. Okay, and it's Kabu Bango. Okay, which is 9005. So in Japan, we don't use abbreviations, we use numbers. So for the Keio line, we know the number is 9008. This is 9005. Okay, and then we can come and look. We can look at the technical chart of the Tokyu line and just look at it really sort of briefly here. And what do I like? I know I'm boring. I'm old now, so I like the 10-year. I like the 10-year chart. Okay. So on the 10-year chart right there, and we're on sort of a abbreviated version of it. Let's bring it all the way back. It's going to bring all the way back into 2006. So in 2006, the Tokyu line was trading at 900. And we can see though too, when we could see in this chart right now, it seems to be in a bit of a downturn. You could say it looks to be in a downturn too. I don't know. We could come into some other sort of we can move into this 2-year chart again. Okay, and you can see right now, I would say it's in this sort of 2-year sort of consolidating pattern, and it's trying to go up, but it's hitting some of its the moving averages sort of above it. But yeah, I don't really care anymore. I don't really want to hugely trade this stuff. I don't mind to pick some of this up because I think it's a side play on Tokyo real estate, and I think it's a systems play on Tokyo real estate. Now, I'm going to come back to another point that I want to develop. And we know Buffett and these guys are basically out of the American market, and they're out of the American market for a very good reason. This is a very interesting chart. This is a company, maybe you'll know, this is probably the most famous Japanese company in the world. It's an auto manufacturer. This is Toyota Jidosha. There's your word for it, Shitodo. And I think it probably is in some ways. It might be the greatest company in the world. Why is it the greatest company in the world? Is because they actually produce. They're not a bank. They produce, and they produce probably the finest machines ever in the history of granted, there's other companies around that you might like. You might like financialized companies like Tesla. You might like General Motors. You might like Ford. But in terms of reliability, this company creates the greatest machines ever, or the most consistent and reliable complicated machines in the history of the world, and I'm a big fan of this company. Anyway, we're going to come back down here right now, and this is an interesting. What am I on? I'm on the 10-year chart, but I'm not on the price chart. This is a really important kanji. This is hikakusuru, which means in Japanese it means compare. Okay. And this is a comparison, and we can take some of this off. Okay, so what we have, if you look at this chart, we're looking at the 10-year chart. 7203, you come up here, Kabubango, Nanani Maru. Maru you can always say, by the way, Maru means circle. You can say Nanani. You can use the word Rei for zero, Rei-san, or Nanani Maru-san. Maru means round, like Ichimaru-kyu, and then yeah. Anyway, don't matter. The Kabubango is 7203. Okay, so that's Toyota, and then so we have Toyota here. We have the Nikkei Heikin right here, and then I have the Dow, but I've taken it off of there. But I have these two railway companies. I have the Keio line right here, and then I have the Tokyu line. But right now, I've taken the Dow out. Let's just get rid of these. Let's get rid of these two right now. Let's get rid of both the railway companies. And so far we have the Nikkei Heikin, okay, which is right here, and we hit the Hikakusuru button. So we only got two things on the chart. We have, you see, we have Toyota in blue, and we have the Nikkei Heikin in pink. Okay. So over the 10-year period, let's move it back. Let's just move it back so we can have a better idea. When we move it back, we can have an idea of price. Oh, so it's actually moving it like that. That might be the maximum we can get for it in there. Okay, so since 2015, we can see basically Toyota, it sort of diverges here in 2016, I guess, a little bit from the Nikkei, a little bit, but we can see it starts to converge again in 2021, and then as the currency weakens from about 22-23 onward, it passes the average into 2024, because likely because the yen weakens to its weakest point. We know it gets to 160, right? And then it crashes back down there again. So it's actually closer to the average right now. Now, let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's take the Keio line, and we know it's Q008, which is 9008. 9008. And then let's hit the Hikakusuru. Let's hit it right there. Let's click onto this. So we put a railway. We put a real estate company into the comparison. And then we have it. You see the numbers, the chart is showing us the deals. The chart is already showing us the deals. We know that Buffett and these guys are here, and they're playing into Toyota. He's probably dumping his Toyota right there. He's probably dumping it, or perhaps buying it back. But we see here, and we can go all the way back because it's going to move it. It's going to move it. At one point, we know that the Keio line, this is going further back now. We see the Keio line at one point is following the Nikkei and Toyota. They're staying together. But here, where was it? We see here in 2020, the Keio line starts to diverge from the average. And now, here it is, sorry, move my mouse around. We can see that it's basically, since 2020, it's become a deal. Okay, it's because it's diverged, but all this way they've continued to service all the people in the area, and all their land has continued to increase in value. And the railway system around this land has carried people. At this very moment in Tokyo, the Keio line is moving trains. They're moving trains. Okay, they're operating trains, they're operating stations, they're operating retail. They're an amazing system, and they've diverged. Okay, now let's make this more interesting. Let's add Q005. Let's add, this is Tokyu. Okay, let's add Tokyu to it, because now we're going to get an idea of Tokyu. Let's add it, and the Tokyu is one of my favorite companies in the world. Okay, and I've hit the Hikaku Suru button, and there we go. So we've seen here, but let's move it back again. Let's move this all the way back. Let's move it all the way back. So we see that everything's following here. We see everything is basically following the average, and Tokyu diverges from the average even before Keio, and it starts to move more positively than the Keio line, where the Keio line diverges from the average later. There could have been some reasons for that at the time, for some company performance reasons, but that's just compared to, so we know Buffett and these guys are jumping into Japanese stocks here at this point, and they're starting to run up, but they're likely not involved in this kind of thing, and nor is anyone. They're just not interested in these sort of systematic plays. But all the way, Japanese real estate from about this time here, or Tokyo real estate, let's not even try. Let's keep it just on Tokyo. Don't try to be brilliant. We know that the Tokyo valuations are going up right there. And these people who operate in the most popular areas of Tokyo, their valuations were going down. Just the opportunity. This is the way I look at it. So it's just an alternative way for people to invest in Tokyo real estate, including me. Okay, let's make this even more interesting. Okay, let's make this even more interesting. There's other things here. These are the topics, but the topics on the Heikin are going to basically, these are the Japanese topics. Nikkei Heikin. Heikin means average, so this means Nikkei. This means Japan. And K means Keizai or economics, so Nikkei, that's what it means. Okay, they call it Nikkei, so it's called Nikkei in English. It's not called Nikkei, it's called Nikkei. Nikkei Heikin. Okay, now we can make this more interesting. Okay, there's other things we can add to it. We can add the Bay dollar to it. This is adding the dollar yen to it. That'll complicate it a little bit much, but we can add the Dow to it, and that's the most conservative thing that we can add to it right now, because Dow is the international players, or the American international players. Now, when we hit this, we can see that this is going to be an even better deal. Okay, so now we have the Dow. The Dow has outperformed, and it changes the colors. Okay, it changes the colors. Now the Keio line is now going to be in yellow, and the Tokyu line is now going to be in purple. Okay, but compared to the Dow, they have they're sitting here at like minus under zero. That's, and then we can stretch it out. Let's stretch it out. At one point in time, these are probably trading near each other. We see that like before or just after 2009, after the correction, everything's trading at almost equal value, but they've diverged from each other, where the Dow's over 300 sort of percent, and then what color do we have for the Nikkei? It's going to be the red, or I think it's going to be the pink one. And Toyota is the one that did really well. Toyota's done really well, but Keio and Tokyu have done poorly. Now this is going to throw it off probably to the max. So let's just without comp, we can even get rid of the Dow, but let's just for fun's sake, let's throw the Nasdaq on there. We can throw, when we're doing Nasdaq too, we can, Nasdaq in some ways is going to reflect Bitcoin. Okay, but let's hit it and see what's happening. So we already know it's going to happen. Okay, so far and let's move it back. Let's move it all the way back to 2006. Okay, where this is the key point at 2008. That's the key point where the ratios with 2008 is really the key ratios where they started to really, in that sort of crash, everything sort of equalizes, if that's a sort of word, right? And since that time, all the money, including Japanese trade surplus money and everything, has all gone in to the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq has outperformed everything to 750%. Now, this is my expectation. It's just my expectation. All the Japanese money, that's probably because Japan, over all this time, has still had a trade surplus. America's had the trade deficit. All that trade surplus money that's sitting in the bank accounts of Japanese companies and Japanese investors has jumped into this Nasdaq from 2008 all the way here to 2024. And now people are looking at this and they're just going, why am I going to invest in Nvidia or Apple or any of this Nasdaq stuff? What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go out of this US dollar stocks. I'm going to trade out of these stocks slowly. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen in a week. Okay? And then they're going to say, but why am I going to go to Toyota? Because it's all run up. And this is where the opportunities are, because I see it in these sort of rail companies, these Japanese domestic plays, because the currency in my eyes is going to strengthen, and then this sort of money that's pushed this Nasdaq up to this sort of what can you call it, like space levels or asinine levels, you could say, is slowly going to move into this. It might move into the Nikkei Heikin like ETFs or something like that for more conservative plays, but for me, I'm going to start buying these railway companies, and that's kind of my thinking with it. This trade surplus money that's moved into American people bought Toyota, and then all that money came back from Toyota, okay, over all these sort of time periods, and then Toyota took this surplus and they stuck it into Nasdaq stocks, or it doesn't have to be Toyota, it could be the person who works at Toyota, and now let's run it up to here, and now they're going to sell their Nvidia, they're going to sell their Apple, and they're going to bring it back to Japan, and then the yen is going to go up, and you're going to see yen appreciation, and then these kind of domestic plays, these great systematic plays who have been underlooked, that's where the money's going to go. And that's my bet. And in an indirect way, that could be my macro picture of it. But you know what? I don't care about my macro picture. I could totally be a little wrong on that. But I don't care, because I know that these systems are really great systems that operate. They're the land systems that make the area of Tokyo. I know that the population of Tokyo is continuing to grow. I know that the population of Tokyo over the next 50 years is not going to be going down. And I'm confident, okay, that these companies will continue to run because of the culture, because of the Japanese culture. Okay, will continue to run smooth companies that service the people of Tokyo who want their transportation in the places they live, where that service the land that they live in, service the land, whether that be Tokyu. The Tokyu company does cable, it does internet, it does train, it does buses, it does shopping malls, it does shopping centers, it runs the retail in Shibuya or Jiyogaoka, or they run stations in that go all the way to Yokohama. So they're also their stations connect with all the major subway lines. Okay, the subway lines that come into Shibuya are the Hanzomon line, Kowon-den and Toshi line, the Ginza line. The Ginza line is probably the best if you go into central Tokyo. It's the oldest line in Tokyo, and it services probably the most highest quality real estate in Tokyo. And the Ginza line connect directly with the Tokyu line, and they share the same platform. The Hanzomon line, built in the early 1970s, share the same platform as the Den and Toshi line. So there are many reasons why I like this investment, and this is the one I'm going into, and I'm happy to make another video about it. We'll come back here to the YouTube video, and again, what happens here, the Keio line is crossing the Odakyu line here. This guy didn't take a very good sort of picture. I thought he was going to get in the front car, but we get a bit of a side view of it right here as the train sort of pops out of this station. We can probably advance the frame a little bit further. Maybe we'll get a better picture. But this is a really important video for me to make today. If you're inside Japan and learning Japanese, for God's sakes, okay, learn Japanese. That's going to bring you some advantage. It's really great that people are making all these social media videos and getting out and sharing this information about Japan, okay? But I'm trying to go to the next level for you in Japan, okay? Japan is a capitalist society, okay? In Japanese, a really difficult word, Shihon Shugi Shakai, okay? Which is a capitalist system. And you have to get pieces of investing here in the Japanese environment or economic environment to get ahead there. And today I tried to teach you a little bit, a way about it, an angle on real estate through these. This video I made today is $1 million video. I'm sorry to say, I think it's $1 million video. So yeah, another video here for Tokyo Real Estate Man. Look at this train. They probably run. You see this where these bicycles are? Is run by the station. Or they run, okay, like if you leave your bike near the station, they'll take it away because they need the areas around the station operating smoothly. They run their land. They run their land coming into there. Look at all the people using this train, and they use this train, likely many of them, every day. Look at this beautiful station, how clean it is. Look at it, it's just a really great example. Yeah, this actually might be Meidaima Station right now, which is a really big station because the Inugashira line, this is Meidaima, crosses Meidaima, I think it's Meidaima Station, and the Keio line go from Shinjuku to Hachioji, and Meidaima is a very important station because it crosses the Shibuya system or the Kichijoji system with the Shinjuku Hachioji line. So this is a really key station. Look how beautiful the station is, and this is this company Keio. It's a winner. Anyway, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. Very important video to make here today. If you're interested in a property here in Japan, you can come to my Instagram right here. It's known as the Tokyo Real Estate Man. If it ever cracks up. I was getting a little serious here today. Engage me in a conversation here. I have various fans of the channel. Like come and we chat here on Instagram. It's very enjoyable. Failing that, you're interested in a property here in Tokyo or particularly Tokyo, Yokohama. But we can go to other places in Japan too. Happy to talk about it. You can come here to my website, Tokyo Real Estate Man. If you come, push this, click this box where the contact, it brings you down here to the contact information. There's other things here on the website. Okay, you see me with my business partner with real estate, Nakamura. Anyways, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, teaching you a little bit about Kabu and a really cool real estate opportunity through investing with in the Japanese railway companies. いつもこのチャンネル見てる皆様ありがとうございます。今日の動画もう終わりです。おはようございます。お疲れ様です。